Hey you guys, it's day 10 of intuition, and today I'm talking about astrology, which may or may not have anything to do with intuition or reality or voodoo or who knows, right? It's all up to you and what you decide it actually has to do with. So let me just share a little bit, you guys, that I've had my astrology chart read for years and years and years, and by different people, right? So you kind of like, I always say it's like dating. Maybe you guys married the first person you dated, but oftentimes people don't marry the first person they date. So even like business coaches, you guys, for years on and off, I've had business coaches. Sometimes you do like a sample session, try them out. It doesn't resonate. Do a sample session with someone else. It doesn't resonate. Maybe I do a sample session with someone. It does resonate, but maybe I don't need a coach at that time. So it's like you kind of try things out, right? So astrologers as well for years, you guys. Kind of tried astrologers out. Now, I've been using this, I work with two astrologers right now, right? So I've been using one for a long time. I don't know, maybe 6 years, okay? And then people are going to ask, well, how often do you have your chart read? So I had a life chart read with this person. It gives you the whole scope of what your astrology life chart looks like. And I do every 90 days. So I get on the phone with her. It's a 45-minute to an hour session. And we talked about the next 3 months. So I got on the phone with her and we talked about July, August, and September. So let me first tell you what I do to prepare. So what I do is I'm looking at my notes right now, and I had a reading on April 8th, 2019. Was that right? April 8th? April 8th. Okay, yeah. And we did a little review of, April, May, and June. Okay, so we talked about April, May, and June on that particular day, okay? So what I do is like 15 minutes before my call with her, I go and I look at the previous 3 months, right? And I was like, okay, what did that mean? What did that mean? And then sometimes things make sense, or it's sometimes things don't make sense. Or you're like, okay, I don't know. And sometimes you're like, oh, that's what that meant, and I had no idea, right? So now I'm just going to share with you guys a few highlights, and you guys. Some of you guys are going to watch this and be like, oh my gosh, the people are going to be like, what is astrology? And what are the moon? And what are the stars? And some of you are going to be like, well, hell yeah. Who doesn't get their astrology chart read? Right? And some of you guys are going to be like, you're going to be, I just wonder where people's mind goes around what people do for energy work and astrology. And Jason and I use all kinds of people to help guide us. And it might be, quite honestly, to help tune us into our intuition. Okay, so as you guys maybe know, that Jason and I offered on a house on Monday, and we're super chill about it. We're like, if it's downstream and it works, great. And if it doesn't go downstream and it seems to be super forceful and back and forth, like, oh my gosh, that's our sign. So we're really like, so even what happened, you guys, is we got the counter offer that we offered on Monday. We got the counter this morning. And then our realtor texted us. She's like, okay, I just take a look. We'll chat later. What do you think? Okay. So I look, Jason texts me, he goes, did you see the counter? I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, we'll talk later. Then he was, out of town all day. So I talked to him at like 3 or 4. He's like, yeah, the counter. I'm like, I know, let's just talk about it tonight. So then it's like 11 o'clock tonight. He's like, okay, are we going to counter? What are we going to do? So we talk, we do a little data. It makes a little sense. We're like, okay, here's our counter. And here's the final counter. And if it works, great. And if it doesn't work, great. We have an awesome house. That's just how it is. Okay, and it was like a 5-minute conversation. So we'll see. Okay, so let's go astrology. Okay, so first of all, did y'all know that we're in Mercury retrograde right now? So she goes, did you know you made an offer on a house during Mercury retrograde, right? So we'll see how that goes. Mercury retrograde, it's like when Mercury gets really close, you guys. That happens 2 to 3 times a year. We're in Mercury retrograde right now for about 3 weeks. And so things kind of get messy sometimes, like communication lines kind of get messed up, and sometimes people's computers go a little bit haywire. Sometimes their travel goes confusing, or like they show up to the airport a day early, or their luggage gets lost, or their phone quits working on them. It's just sometimes it's like technology things, and they have like communication. Like I'm always like super clear in my communication during Mercury retrograde. So we offered on a house during Mercury retrograde. I'm like, I know, I got it. I was super clear. Mercury retrograde day 1 was on Monday, and that was the day that we made the offer. I'm really clear. Okay, so we just talked a little bit about what that might bring, okay? Now, it's one of the reasons, too, that we're just like, okay, so we're just going to tap into the whole, like, If it's downstream and it flows and it's easy, this whole house offer, great. And if it's not, great. Because especially during Mercury retrograde, where lines or communication lines can get mixed up or crossed maybe just a little bit more easily, we just really want to tune into like how easy is this process for us, okay? All right, so then she asked me so many questions, you guys, before we got started in my astrology reading about my support team. So many questions. Now, I've been working with this person for years, so she knows the whole process, right? And I very much believe in having a strong support team as a business owner. So let me just give you a few examples. Like having a dependable, strong nanny that I actually love is part of the support team, right? Like you might have a dependable, strong nanny, but if you don't love them or you're not sure that they're the right fit for your child, it's a little on your mind. Then having, I hate to say she's our assistant. I would say she runs our business, right? She's like the master of operations. She's been with us since 2013. Love her. She's super strong. Then we've got two other people that we have on board that do a lot of technology stuff for us, okay, with the business, okay? So love them, right? So she's just asking them like a household assistant, and she's just like, what do you guys have? And it could be, support team could be you guys like, who does your hair? I mean, this could be a whole separate topic, right? But your chiropractor, your massage therapist, your attorney, your CPA, I don't know, you name it, right? Like, whatever you guys have, like your dentist, your doctor, right? Like, there's just people, right? And it isn't nice to like, oh God, I go to the dentist to pick up the phone, I go to the dentist, right? But like, if you don't have a dentist, you don't have a doctor, you don't have somebody to do your hair, and you don't like, you're like, ah, right? So she's asking me all these things about my support team. I'm feeling so awesome right now about our support team. They're like awesome and they're amazing, and I've had them for a long time. Now we have somebody that helps us around the house, does like some household stuff for us, right? And love her. She works, full-time in the summer, but probably part-time again in the fall. And it's a little bit on my mind because I think I probably could have ramped up a little bit, and it's been on my mind, right? Our business is ramping up right now, and we know it's going to be wild in 2020. So I know right now that I need to prepare for that. So intuitively, I'm just preparing for this. Like, I know that I probably need to either have her on board more or I need to bring somebody else on board, but I'm aware, okay? So she's asking me all these questions. And then finally she's like, she brings it up at the end of the reading that, okay. She's like, okay, she's just talking about January 2020. There's a time in January 2020 that starts to create something, okay? So who knows what that is? So some personalities go, well, what is that? And what does she mean? And they want to analyze it and they want to like create it. And we just learned enough through intuition, like it is what it is. When we're supposed to know, we'll know. But what I do know is she's preparing me for whatever might happen in 2020, that the support team probably needs to strengthen today. So it's why I only work today. And she says, she goes, just here's the deal. You're going to come across people. If they're a good fit, great. If they're not a good fit, great. She's like, there's no need for you to do anything right now. She says, somewhere between mid-August and mid-September, you're going to start to realize you might need to add some support team, or you might need to increase somebody's hours, or there might be an area in your life that's feeling a little bit like you're doing too much of something that you don't need to do, and you actually should be doing more things over here. And she's like, I just want you to be in flow. She gives you kind of a timeline. She's like, what did I just say, guys? Mid-August and mid-September, it's a good time for you to be looking at adding another person into your support team, or adding some more hours to your support team. And I was actually feeling, not the timeline, okay, but I was feeling that already. I was a little bit aware because I was like, okay, but if our friend goes back and she's working half-time starting September again, is that really good? So it just kind of confirms what my mind is already thinking. Okay. Now, there's many other things. She talks about August. Let me just give you guys a little bit of this August stuff. So I get on the phone with her. It's so funny because there's so much that happens in my and Jason's life in 90 minutes. She cracks up. She's like, okay. I'm like, and then we traveled here, and then we did this, and then we met this person, and then this person quit, but then we hired this, and then we signed this lease. And then she's like, it's hilarious. Jason and I always talk about it. Like, it's like, ding, 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 ding. So I go, oh, and by the way, we offered on a house. She goes, okay, you offered on a house. Do you know you offered on a house in Mercury retrograde? I go, I know. So she says, okay, so August. She goes, August is a financial whirlwind month for you. Now she's like, who knows what that is? Because you offered on a house in Mercury retrograde. She goes, it could mean buying and selling. It could be meaning you're putting your house on the market. It could mean you and your value. She's like, let's just have a conversation about, do you really believe, that you bring enough value to the marketplace? Because if you want to create more, you have to believe that you are bringing enough to the marketplaces. So it could be having to do with you mentally working through some sort of process around what's your own personal worth. She goes, it could be around your resources, like your support staff or your resources, hiring people. And then she said it could be like investments or purchasing money or how you use your money or meeting with your financial planner. So you guys get, when she says August is a financial whirlwind month, it could mean any of these 4, 5, 6 different spokes on a wheel. Now, there are going to be people that want to analyze today, July 10th, the spokes on the wheel. She's like, that's not the work. The work is to just be aware that might be what's coming to you in August. And when all of a sudden you put your house on the market in August, you're like, okay, right? Or all of a sudden when there's an opportunity to hire somebody in August, you're like, okay. So from an astrology standpoint, okay, which it could be complete voodoo, right? It could be perfect science, right? You never know. It's kind of like whatever you think it is, it is. Whatever your mind creates, right? It's that whole cosmic creator effect, observer effect. Whatever you see and believe, it is what it is. So just for me, it's a little bit of a guide or an awareness, right? There's been some times in the past where she's like, okay, there is this time frame in this particular month where a female is going to approach you and want to partner with you, and I want you to have a high level awareness. Okay, and Jason and I are like, what does that mean, right? And then it happens, you guys, and we're like, oh, this is it. Oh my gosh, this is it, right? And then sometimes things come up and you can't figure out what it is. It doesn't actually mean it didn't happen. It means that maybe my consciousness didn't identify whatever it is that maybe she presented. It could also mean it didn't happen, right? So whatever y'all want to call it, it does help guide me a little bit, you guys, to be tapped in intuitively. So more to come probably on astrology, right? It's a little bit of the love of my life. I love all of the sun, moon, stars, planets, and the science around it. So happy July 10th.